Alrighty, this is a reading from Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he taketh a city. I'll read the second part one more time because that's what this video is about. And I like this translation, the King James Version. He that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. So this proverb, this proverb is basically telling us that to have self-mastery, self-control, self-discipline, control over your spirit, your temperament, or whatnot, is more impressive than being able to rule a city. So this is going to be a very humbling video to make. I've talked about my faults a lot on this channel, mainly past faults that were stuff that I don't see as that much of a big deal. But this is particularly something that I've been dealing with a lot lately, especially being home for Easter break. And it's really annoyed me and bothered me, and I've been reflecting on it. And I don't know, I hope this video helps someone because this is definitely a hit to my ego. So the fault, we're talking about correcting other people and offering advice. I never really used to do this growing up. I didn't really care. And then around my junior, senior year of high school, I'm a junior in college now, I really got into self-improvement. And I remember, especially when I started, or not really when I started, but eventually later on, like when I got to college, like a freshman, I was really, really in the habit of telling other people the right way to do stuff. Unfortunately, especially the main culprits of this were my family, my mom, dad, and my brother. This was mainly at that time, like nutrition stuff. I did like the keto diet for a bit. I thought that was cool. But it was especially when I was in high school and criticizing and offering critiques of my dad's drinking habits, my mom's snacking habits, my brother, I don't even know what, but it was mainly my parents too, and just offering unwarranted advice. It was terrible. It really damaged our relationships. Hasn't killed them off, but I don't know. Yeah, trying to get my dad into the gym more, which is good, but then trying to micromanage him, hey, what's your split? Trying to write him a split, oh, you can't do full body, you gotta do a body part split. I felt ideologically possessed by these self-improvement things, and I really wanted to impart them on my family. And I've been abroad this year. I'm back for Easter break. I was back for Christmas, and I really noticed this terribly when I came home, where I came home Thursday night. I noticed it a bit then, and then Friday, it was Good Friday, and I just had this terrible instinct to correct, to tell people, tell my family. It's not even as much people or strangers, it's more so my family, because I feel like I have immediate access to them. I care about them so much, and I do love them so much, so I want them to, fast properly on Good Friday, not drink alcohol all the time, work out intensely, eat enough protein, not eat that fatty food, get this when you go out, not that. And because I was away from them for so long, when I came back to them, I was just bombarded with this urge and this temptation to offer advice and to correct them. Now I'll get to, I guess, my recent reflection on this in a bit, but just kind of clarifying, I guess, my story or my struggle with this. I do kind of do it to other people, but more so people I know really well. More so people I care about the most, namely my family, and also kind of, which is really even bad too, my girlfriend. And it is, I love these people so much and I want what's best for them, but it's funny where it's stuff like nutrition, where there are individual differences. Yes, protein's protein, but, people develop different tolerances for different stuff. And it's nutrition and fitness stuff. And then it's kind of even grown into faith, trying to get them to pray this much or pray a certain way and being annoyed when they don't. Just trying to correct others. But it's mainly nutrition and stuff like that. Which doesn't matter too as much as faith. If they were saying something some heresy or something outlandish, I feel more in the right of correcting them, offering feedback on that, saying what I believe is the truth. But for these little things that really don't matter, almond milk or whole milk, I'm Mom, whole milk's more nutritious. I don't need to be saying that. And it's so humbling to say this on camera. But yeah, mainly like nutrition, health stuff. I'm trying to think. Sometimes faith stuff, like fasting, but just that's the vibe. So anyway, when I was reflecting on this more, praying about it, one idea that came up to me, which was so humbling, is these areas that I'm trying to offer advice in are areas that I haven't fully mastered or dominated in my life. For instance, again, I mentioned I kind of will offer advice in different areas, spheres, but we'll talk about nutrition and fitness here. I'm in pretty bad shape right now, like looks-wise, strength-wise. My running has somehow prevailed or like remained, but I was away traveling for a while, out of the gym for like a month. I'm kind of skinny fat now. I really don't like how I look. And, well, I have been like trying to eat well. I do mess up with that. Easter time, I ate a lot of candy, kind of gorged myself. And especially like in this vibe of I'm not doing this thing to the best of my ability. Like I'm not able to control myself. Let me try and like leech out some control on my family. That's kind of the vibe when I prayed about it for a while that I got from this of, okay, I can't correct, I can't control myself, I can't eat how I want to eat. Let me try and do it to others, live through others in that terrible sense. And yeah, it's so, and I know this is wrong, and I'll get to that, I guess, right now, because it's like, why am I trying to give unsolicited advice when I can't apply these principles myself? I remember I said it once when I was a senior in high school. I said, advice doesn't stick unless someone asks for it. That is such a wonderful principle to live by, because we can still proclaim our faith, glorify God, live out the gospel in deeds, not just words. Preach the gospel at all times. Use words when necessary. But yeah, it's like people don't ask for your opinions, and it's often stuff that I get like ideologically possessed with, like diets, protein, nutrition. It is some of the faith stuff, but I feel like that's less unprompted. Whereas if I see like my family like eating something unhealthy, I have like an urge to like correct that immediately. But that's a terrible feeling. Like I've smoked a cigarette 3 times in my life, and the first time, some random dude I didn't know, my friend kind of knew, came up to us telling me that smoking was bad, and I wanted to hit that kid. And I know people do it like a lot worse to people who are drinking when drunk. It was my first time smoking. I was like, this is so annoying. Like, let me enjoy my little cigarette. Like, it's not going to kill me. Hopefully. God willing. It's just a terrible, like, from the person getting advice, receiving advice when you're doing something you know is kind of wrong. Just not good for the relationship. Not loving. If people don't ask for advice, not to give it. People aren't asking for your standards to live by. They don't know your story. They don't know your standards. And you can't even fix yourself. I'm unhappy with how my body is right now, and I'm giving more advice to my parents. Yeah. And in the times when I do feel more confident and like doing the stuff well, I feel I'm less, to some degree, still kind of gray area here, I'm less like likely to give advice because I'm able to do it myself. Yeah, this is a really personal video. Yeah, it's just bad. I really dislike it, and I really noticed it coming home. Like, oh, like, Mom, it's Good Friday. Like, you shouldn't have crackers after Mass, or Dad, like, you don't need to drink on Good Friday. You don't need your glass of wine at night for Good Friday. Yeah, and then the urge to correct them. I don't like it one bit. And I think a lot of it stems from feeling inadequacy to rein it in myself on my eating, on my fasting and whatnot. And yeah, just trying to remind myself deep down that like those aren't the times to jump in. Those aren't the times to offer advice. People to live well, to have the body. Well, that's not the most important thing, but in terms of nutrition, like to be healthy yourself, in good shape. And when people ask, then you can offer advice, but not to give it unsolicited. Obviously, if someone says something like terribly outlandish about faith, I'm going to jump in. But, because that matters. But these little nitty-gritty things that don't matter, like optimal Andrew Huberman sleep routine, I don't need to be trying to enforce that on my dad. Yeah, it definitely does too feel like a degree of being brainwashed by like self-improvement, fitness stuff on the internet, and then feeling like that is the only way to live, the way you have to do stuff, and then trying to get other people to do that. Not a good vibe. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But yeah, that's my takeaway in the end, realizing from a place of inadequacy. And then also just, it's so much more a way to live. Oh, great book, Searching for and Maintaining Peace by Jean-Jacques Philippe. Great book. And with that, it takes away from your peace, trying to control the lives of others. Again, we lack control over ourselves. That's one thing I've learned. I've wasted so much time scrolling on YouTube, realizing, wow, like I can't even resist the urge to scroll on stuff I don't want to. Like, how am I gonna do all this without God, without His grace, without His love? I'm so prone to fall. And yeah, it just takes away your peace worrying about others like that, in these nitty gritty ways where people aren't asking for advice, even if someone's walking away from the church, trying to pull them back with all your might, telling them why they're wrong, not from a loving way, proclaiming to them like the gospel in a rude way when you're not even living out yourself, like that kind of vibe. It just doesn't work out. Yeah, I'm getting kind of sad recording this because I'm really thinking back about how often I have done this in my life. So don't give advice unless someone asks. That's it. God bless.